Okay, guys, hi. I am back. I wanted to explain to you guys a process that I use right now while it's fresh. So, a lot over the years, I have changed my mind on how to live my life and how to see my life and what the purpose of my life is. And so, one of the new beliefs that I started adopting is that and by the way, all this is based, in case anyone wants to know, um, a lot of my lifestyle is based on the principles or on the teachings of Abraham. So if you're more interested in it, or if you're curious about it, all you have to do is just on YouTube search Abraham dash Hicks, and there's so many great videos, audios really of what I'm talking about. And so that's just the easiest way to put it, um, instead of explaining it. So basically, this philosophy of living is goes like this. So on this planet, in this world, there's contrast. So contrast is where you experience something you don't like, or that feels challenging, or that feels tough. So anything that is the opposite of joy. And so, in this way of this new method of thinking, basically, you experience contrast, and in that very second that you experience this discomfort, you become somewhere in the ethers. Vibrationally, you become. And in order for you to tangibly experience the new becoming, you gotta find whatever way possible to feel better about the situation that you just went through. So I'm gonna give you a real example of what happened to me today, just to give you an idea of what this process looks like. And so, in essence, the point of doing all this is you grow, you become more, you grow. I want to call it spiritually, but my definition of spiritually, it has nothing to do with religion or a sense of um, anything that has like tradition connected to it. It's more growing spiritually, meaning like you're evolving, or you're becoming the better version of a better version of yourself. You're maturing, I guess. Let's put it that way. So, okay. So this morning it was raining, and my son has a day today at school where it's called, I think it's called like a Fun Friday or something. So if all the kids, he's in fifth grade, so if all the kids have gotten all their work done for the week, they get like a little, I guess a reward or something, is that they get to, and I'm not even sure how this looks like in their schedule, but basically they get like a movie, or they get the freedom to bring, the permission to bring like an electronic, and you can bring blankets, and you can, or a blanket and a stuffed animal if you want. And so he wanted to bring two blankets. One, his reason was that he wanted one to cover himself with and one to use as a pillow. So it's raining outside pretty pretty steadily, and also I didn't realize until we got there at the school that it was also windy. So I was telling him, first of all, I was all over the place in like in my I don't um let's just say I was getting a little overwhelmed, because I don't know what happened this morning. I forgot. I usually, I help line up his clothes on the couch so that when he gets downstairs, he can get himself dressed. But I forgot to do that today. So as soon as he woke up, he was taking so long to get out of bed. So by the time we came downstairs, I don't like to rush him, because he doesn't like to be rushed. Because if you rush him, it just gets all messy, and it frustrates him. So I'm doing the best I can to not rush him, but I'm also telling him, we need to get moving. So while you get dressed, I need to go get your breakfast ready. And then I need to get everything else ready. And so we get to the school and I tell him, it's just not going to happen. I don't think we're going to be able to take these blankets into the school because he's also in band and he plays a trumpet. So today's band day, so he has, or his trumpet day, so he has to bring his instrument. So he has to not just carry his instrument, but he has to carry the blankets and carry the backpack on his back. That's pretty heavy because it's full with all these things he needs to take to school. And it's raining. And I have to also I'm thinking, well, I got to take an umbrella and cover him with the umbrella and me. But then it just wasn't going to happen, right? So it started getting windy. So I tell him at the end, it's just not going to happen. It's just no way. These blankets are going to get drenched. They're going to get wet. So we don't end up taking them. It's really windy because then we start walking towards the school. I'm covering him with the umbrella and the umbrella flips, turns inside out. That's how windy it was. So anyways, we get there, I send them off to school and everything. Okay. But I come into the car and I come home and I feel really guilty. And I feel all sorts of things. And so this is what I do when that happens. So I say a prayer of thank you. I say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And why? Because this is good. Contrast is good. That means in that very experience, I became more. What did I become more of? That's what we're going to talk about in a minute. So when you experience something you don't like, your preferences are born. New desires are born. And what that means is you start wanting, in that moment, you start wanting something you never knew you wanted. You'll see what I mean in a minute. So right, that's why I start with thank you first, because I'm thankful, getting into that state of appreciation for okay. And it also, if you come to life in your experience with appreciation first, life takes a whole new meaning. It takes a whole new, there's a new purpose to your life now, because it's no longer, this is happening to me, but this is happening for me. And it's different now because you're no longer, yes, you're going to feel guilty or mad or angry or whatever it is you're feeling, but you no longer are stuck in those thoughts or those emotions that come with those thoughts. And so you're able to move forward a lot quicker with a new different set of emotions and a new set of energetic vibrations, okay, that you're emitting now into the world. So I come home and I say my thank yous, and then I say, okay, I also pray another prayer. I say, I'm willing to let go of the way that I'm perceiving this experience. I'm willing to let go of the way that I'm perceiving myself. I'm willing to let go of the way that I'm perceiving the weather. I just let it go, and I let it go. And then I say, and I'm willing to see all this through vision. Basically meaning I'm willing to see it in a new way. So after I do that, then I use my thoughts and I use my mind to feel incrementally better, because what I'm feeling in the moment is not good. And so I got to start where I'm at. Where am I? Well, so I start listing, what am I really feeling right now? Well, I'm feeling guilty. I feel like I should have been. Okay, I feel like I could have been all these things. But instead of listing all the things that I should have been, I should have felt, I should have whatever, immediately then I start twisting it to what did I want? Because that's who I've become. It's there. Now I've become this thing, but you gotta, I don't call it, Abraham calls it, what Abraham calls lining. You gotta line up. And I always do this movement because it helps me remember. I gotta line up with who I've become now. I've become something, and I gotta line me physically, how I think, how I feel right now. I've gotta line up with who I've become. And so how you do that is now you feel better. The better you feel, so it's all like, it's what Abraham calls the emotional ladder. So you have an emotional ladder. So you're going up. So right now you're feeling like this. I'm feeling like this. And so my intention now is to go as high as I can on the emotional ladder, because the minute you feel a shift, even if it's a second of a shift, even if it's like a fraction of a fraction meaning like, let's say you're here, this is who you've become, this is you now. Even if you move this much, you're moving closer to this. And the closer you get to this, the more in alignment you are to what you've become. And then magic starts to happen. You start seeing things work out for you, and I always like to say, look for the evidence of your alignment. So the world will reflect back to you like a mirror. When you look in a mirror, and what do you see? You see yourself. So the world will reflect back to you. Your experience will reflect back to you where you are vibrationally, where you are energetically, where you are in your allowance of your creation. Because you've become, those are your creations, and all that will show you. So the world will reflect back to you. Where are you in allowing? Where are you here? Are you here? Or are you here? And the bigger the gap is, the worse you feel. The worse you feel, you're having what we call, you're having a bad day, or things are just not working out. You want things to work out for you. Why? Because, well, why not, right? We want, that's the good life. It's where magic happens. It's where the inspiration comes through. It's where the ideas flow. And so my job is to make sure that when I have a moment like this, I am lining back up. Okay, so how I did that. So then I said to myself, and it's so beautiful and it's so fun, because you get to learn not just what you created, but you get to be like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I wanted that. Okay, so what did I create in that moment is, so then I start the conversation. What did I want? Okay, I want to be more calm. When the weather is different and it's not how, I'm just going to call it how it is. Okay. I didn't want it to rain. I wish it wasn't raining. So I'm like, okay, what did I want? But I want to be accepting. So I said to myself, okay, what did I want? I want to be more accepting of the weather. The weather is the weather. It is what it is. You can't control it. So I want to be more accepting of the weather. I want to then, because I now accept the weather and I'm a bit more accepting, I want to also then feel calmer. I want to feel more balanced. I want to feel more at ease. I want to feel more relaxed. And then when I interact with my child, I also want to be those things. I want to feel calm when I speak to him. I want to feel at ease. I want to feel relaxed. And therefore, get this, if he's feeling stressed or overwhelmed because he feels like he's being rushed, or maybe it's not coming from me, but maybe he feels like whatever it is he's feeling, it's his feelings, and I'm not dumping my emotional baggage onto him, because children, they're very intuitive. They feel your emotional state. And so my goal then is, I want to be in a state of balance, because if I'm at a state of balance, I'm not, he already has to deal with his own human emotion, whatever human thing he's going through. He's already having to feel that, and that's his stuff. He doesn't need my stuff on that, because if he gets my stuff on that, it's just so confusing. And it's that then you'll find that chaos that happens in the morning with your children or with whoever you're with. Now it's chaos and arguments and fights and whatever it may be. So what did I desire? I want to be more accepting. If I'm more accepting of the weather, then I am more relaxed, and so then my words come out more calmer, and then my words then I find that I'm more supportive versus hurry, come on, let's go. You see, tone, I think, does matter, because especially with children, actually with anybody, because what are we really? Are we really grown? Or are we like children still inside our bodies? Like we're still growing emotionally. Like we may be, I'm 40, so I may be 40, but what's my emotional age? What are our emotional ages? And go back to the times when you have an argument with your loved ones. How do you react? How do you feel inside? Do you have like tantrums even if you don't express them? Do you feel them in here? Then go back and ask yourself, what age would I claim in that moment? Do I act like a 7-year-old emotionally? I think we're all children, that we haven't evolved enough to line up or to be in accordance with the physical age that we're at. And so what I desired is that just to be more at ease. And then therefore my words will be different. Oh, that's what I was talking about, the tone. Yes, tone matters, because you don't want to add more stuff into the problem. So if you are already interacting with whoever, like me, if I'm interacting with my 10-year-old and I have a tone, where does the tone come from? You may say, well, ignore the tone. You may, yes, if we were more evolved, okay. But in this case, he's 10. If I have an attitude of rush, of hurry up, and that's, you hear how I sound more like hurry, let's go. Like, you see how that sounds? I don't know if maybe you guys don't hear it the same, but for me, a 10-year-old, and it also depends on your child. What kind of personality do they have? Where are they at in their growth and their understanding? So if he hears my tone, get this, now he's not focused anymore on what he's doing. He's like, well, why are you mad? Or he didn't do any of this today. I'm just saying, like, if your child then ends up doing that, then it's like, okay, what are we doing now? Now we're talking about tone, and now we're veering off the topic. We need to stay focused. Yes, ideally, of course, I can already hear parents say, well, I want my kid to be resilient. I want my kid to be to not listen to those tones. Yes, that's a vision. That's the vision you want for your child. But the reality is that he or she may not be there yet. And don't add more chaos to what already the moment. Don't add more to it. And that's how you also model resiliency, and you model patience by how you interact with your child or whoever's in front of you, and how you respond to the situation. And you know what? Sometimes we think we're so blind. Sometimes we think, well, I didn't have an attitude. Well, you might want to reflect back and say, where was I mentally? Was I in a rush? Was I annoyed? Annoyance? That part right there. Notice if you're even slightly annoyed, that is you reacting. That is you. Or even if you're like, no, if you hear yourself say, he or she, this person, they need to hurry up. They should and need. That is also an indication that you are also not at a calm, balanced, non-reactive state of mind. So then let's go back to then what I wanted. So I wanted to just be more accepting of the weather, because if I was more accepting of the weather, instead of annoyed and angry that I was like, that it's raining and that it happened to be rain, like right now, look. Okay, it's still raining, but I feel like it was raining a little harder at that exact time that I'm taking him to school. But had I been more accepting, so if I wanted to be more accepting, so if I'm more accepting, then I would have been more assertive. Is that the word? Where I would have been like, honey, I know you want to take these blankets. Like, I would have done it at home. Like, I know you want to take these blankets. It's just not going to happen today. It is wet out there. And no. And held space for whatever was going to come from him. So if he was going to be upset or however he wanted to respond, I don't know how he would have responded, but let's say he would have responded with upset, then I would have just held space for it and understood, yeah, he's going to be upset. Okay, but I can be certain of my decision and be like, yeah, we're not taking these blankets. But no, because I wasn't any of those things, I took the blankets. And I had to make that decision right before we even got out of the car. But what I wanted uniquely to me, I wanted to just already be certain, already be sure of what I want to do next. And I couldn't even do that because I was upset that it was raining and disappointed that it was raining and annoyed that it was raining because I don't like getting wet. I don't. Who does? I mean, maybe people do. I don't know. I just don't like getting wet. It's too messy. And especially if I have all these things to help carry and whatever. So then anyways, then it becomes, I can feel the shift already. I went from here to like, oh wow, okay, Violet, come on. So I stopped and I said, come on, Violet, let's do this thing. Okay, there's no need for guilt. Okay, there's no need for that. So let's see. Okay, what did you want? Well, I want to be more accepting. I want to be more accepting of the weather. I want to be more at ease with what is. What is whatever is happening. I want to be more certain of myself. I want to be able to say, no, be certain of my no's. If my answer to whatever is to him is no, it's not even that he was asking. I was asking him, what would you like to take today to this thing that you're gonna do for Fun Friday? And when he said blankets, it's like I knew it's raining and no, so I want to be more certain that that may not be possible. And also I want to be more accepting of life. Like, sometimes things are gonna play out a little different than you planned. So maybe you thought you were just be more. I just want to be more accepting of change. Like there was a change of plans because it rained and I didn't even know it was going to rain. I don't even look anymore because the weather is weird. Like I can look on the phone and then it'll say it's going to rain and it doesn't. So I don't even look on the phone anymore. So it was a real, it was a surprise that it was going to, when I walked out the door, it was raining. So I want to be more, I want to go with the flow. I'm like, oh, okay, it's raining. Okay. Now you may think, okay, in what world? You really, so you violate what you're saying is so you want to be really happy all the time. It's not about being really happy all the time. Okay? It's about acceptance and flowing with change because there's one constant in this world and it's change. It's change. It's change. You get used to it, love it, accept it because until we do, we're going to always be ruled and directed by our emotional state of mind because we're upset. So also what I love about this work is that every person's unique. So had you experienced what I went through, you would have maybe desired something else. That's what's beautiful is like everyone's unique in that sense. You're going to those are creations. You're going to create your own desires and you're going to become unique in your own way. So for me, what in my journey and what I want in my life is I want that ability to not be ruled by the outside, whatever happens outside of me. Okay, so I'm looking at the time. It's 23 minutes. So let's see if I can wrap this up. So I was really inspired to do this right now because I was in the thick of it. And I thought, this is it. This is happening in real time. And maybe I can explain as it's happening what I do to help me navigate life when it doesn't go the way you want and the way you've planned. And you see, I said something right there. When life doesn't go the way you want, your wants and your desires are going to change moment to moment, contrast with each contrast you experience, and also with each joyful event that happens to you. Because even in joy, you're also creating because you can be happy, you can feel great, and you can see something you love. That moment, poof, you just became something. In that moment, there's a person I really love. Her name is Bella Lively. She is on Instagram if you're curious. Bella Lively, and so she talks about. She has this word she always uses. She says, "Happy, thank you more." I think it's happy, thank you more, please. And so when you experience something joyful, in that moment, you've become. There's more of that coming your way. There's more of that you're wanting. So you're gonna either want more joyful things and more amazing things to happen for you, or you're going to want an improvement of something. And so that's the key. There's a lot of talk about manifestation. And so, you know what manifestation is this is allowing. Okay, it's lining up, it's going from here to here by your mind. Like, you don't need anything. Have you ever felt like you don't have money, right? Have you ever felt a lack of something, like, oh, or wanted something, you don't have the money for it, right? Let's say, and you're like, I wish I had more money, or like, I wish I had that job, something that you feel is going to bring a financial flow to you. Okay, so now get this. This is free. This is abundant. You don't need a job for it. You don't need to have the right partner come along. You don't need the children for it. You don't need the house. You don't need the money. It's free. And all you have to do is, you don't even have to sit down and do it. I mean, if you are really good at thinking and doing things, you could be driving and doing this. All you're doing is finding thoughts that resonate with you. So for me, it was simply, also, I didn't even explain more like that. Okay, so how did I go from feeling better? Is because I didn't feel good. I came home and I felt horrible. I felt bad. I felt like, oh my gosh, like I should have, like, Violet, like you do this stuff, like you read this stuff, you work on this stuff. Like I could have been more patient, or a little bit more calmer. I could have been more at ease. I could have been more joyful even in that moment. I could have been more like, that's an opportunity to model, right, to my child what you can do when things don't work out the way you want them to. And I wasn't horrible. I wasn't like I was saying all these negative things to him. No, it's just, we all have our own inner measuring stick, if you will. Like, we all feel like, like we could have done better. And if someone on the outside watched us, I'm sure if someone was there in the room with me, they would have been like, Violet, you weren't even rude. You weren't even unkind. And it's like, I know I wasn't, but I know what was happening inside of me. And that's how you know when, that's how I know. And so yeah, so one of the statements that I like to tell myself is, Violet, you're doing the best you can. So what did I, actually, that's not what I said to me today. To myself, I said, okay, Violet, remember, contrast is good. Contrast is good. That's what life's about. Contrast. Okay. What did you want? Because I was going to start off. Oh, no, I did the prayer, right? Like I said, the prayer and the thank you, and then the prayer, the perception change. Okay. And so then I said, it's like, you know what? It's like, for any of you who've spoken to friends or children, or your friends or coworkers, and they're maybe being a little bit down on themselves, what do you do for other people? What do you say, right? You go, oh, you always give them something more positive. So if you hear a friend or a child, or your child, or a sibling or whoever say to you, oh man, I don't think I'm going to do so good on my test, or I don't feel like I'm going to do good at whatever. And what do we say normally? Oh, it's going to work out. It'll work out for you. I know it will. Or what do we say? Oh, I'm sure it's not that bad. Okay, do that with yourself. So that's what I did. And I said, okay, come on, Violet, you got this. Remember, this is good. So remember, what is it? Oh, right, I'm creating something. So what did you create, Violet? Start where you are. Start where you are. And I'm like, you're right. Okay, so I did. I pointed out some emotions that I was feeling. I said, I'm angry. I'm angry that it's raining. I'm bothered that it's raining. But then I heard that and I'm like, okay, I think that's enough. I think I got enough of where I'm at emotionally. Okay, now, what do you want, Violet? What do you want? And I want to hear the word want. Never use the word I do not want. It's easy to think you're talking about what you want when you state the word I do not want. It's easy to say, well, I didn't want it to rain. No, you're still not stating what you created. So state it as like as a positive thing. So it's like, okay, so what did if so, and you can start where you're at. You can say, oh, I didn't want it to rain. So you have to know where you're at. So, okay, so let's take that. I don't want it to be raining right now. Okay, so how would you flip that to a desire? Well, you definitely don't want to say, I want it to be sunny. So what is it? So this is what it takes so much reflection, and I love it. It's my most favorite thing, but it's like, um, go deeper than that. And you could, again, start where you're at. You could say, well, I wanted it to be sunny today. Why? Well, then things will work out for me. Okay, so, but what are you really wanting? So for me, it's like, what did I really want? Did I want it to be sunny? Did I really want it to not be raining? No. I wanted it to be more accepting of what is. Now, how did I get to that understanding? Well, you can't control the weather. So what is it that I wanted? I didn't want it to rain, but what is it that that's why you got to ask yourself, what am I really mad at? Why am I really upset? Am I really upset because it's raining? Or am I upset because it isn't what I wanted? It isn't the weather I preferred. Okay, so then go deeper. What is that? Oh, right. I want to be more accepting and understanding that sometimes life gives us rain. Because if you can get to that, oh, you can make it anywhere. It doesn't matter what happens. And then when you get to that, so it's not about like, okay, Violet, so you're saying you should be happy all the time. It's not about, like I said, it's not about being happy. It's about being more, like lining up more with what you desire. Because when you do that, you are in a better mental place to, like I said, receive ideas. Things work out for you. You're not attracting the same kind of energy. So have you ever noticed when you're in a horrible mood, the traffic is the worst? People are getting in front of you. They're cutting in front of you. You go here and this person's so rude. And then you think everyone's just mean today. No, it's not that they're mean today. Get this, is that you are flowing around the same energy field as what you're feeling. So if you're feeling, I don't know if that made sense, so let me reword that. If you are all out of sorts, if you're in a bad mood, in a negative mood, you're cranky, get this, you are going to be matched up with people in situations that are going to feel the same way. So if you're feeling cranky, think about it. Go back and think about the times whenever you had just person after person, situation after situation. It was just like chaotic. Go ask yourself, how was I feeling inside? Now, someone may say, well, hold on, I was in a good mood and I had someone be really rude to me. That's contrast. So there's a difference between contrast and you hanging around birds of a feather. Have you ever heard that term? Birds of a feather? Okay. So if you want to experience better attitudes, people being of service to you in a better way, get this, you have to be also matching that type of energy. So get in that state of mind then. And yes, so two things. If you are experiencing something uncomfortable, it's either contrast, so get into that appreciative mind and thank you, and then let's see, what did I now create, what did I now want, what do I now desire? Number two, it is reflecting back to you where you are right now, and that's fun. So and then you come at life a different way. So now the next time someone's rude to you, you can ask yourself, whoa, okay, where am I at? What am I feeling inside today? You know how they say, did I wake up on the wrong side of the bed today? Did my day already kind of start going downhill? Was it already going downhill and then it just kept going downhill? So anyhow, this is the longest video I've made. Thank you for listening. If you stuck around, I hope you learned something. I hope you gained something. I know I'm gaining something from this. My intention is to get better at explaining the things that I do that have helped me, that are helping me right now in life. Maybe it might help you. I want to get better too at looking at the camera. I know that the last video I looked up a lot and I want to look at the camera now. I'm like, maybe I'll just look down. but then I'm like, no, I still want to look at the camera. So you get to see my improvement over the next, if I continue to do videos. So thank you guys. Bye for now, and maybe until next time.